What up, everybody? It's your boy Mikey G, coming at you with another topic for today. Today, I want to talk about learning how to do something yourself. To really drive the point, I'm going to talk about myself. I would get haircuts every week or every 2 weeks, right? Growing up, every week or every 2 weeks. There would be a drought time where I would go months without getting a haircut. My hair would start to grow, my edge up would disappear. Those were the days that were the hardest. Because I didn't look good, I didn't feel good. I'm like, oh man, this is trash. And I would have to rely on the ability to either get to a barber or be able to afford to get a barber. Because as a kid, you don't really have your own money to spend. Even if there is a barbershop down the street, you ain't got no money of your own to spend all the time growing up as a kid. When I got my first job back in high school, I immediately went out and bought some clippers. At the time, I was growing my hair out, and I bought these clippers, and I used them strategically because I worked at this job in the summer. Practice edge ups first. As I improved on edge ups, got better on that. Even if I messed up, it's summertime. After work, I had it worked so I could cover that up, and I ain't gonna see nobody I know.
Who cares?
So, got my clippers, practiced, learned that I need to have rubbing alcohol as well, sanitize my clippers, make sure you don't use the clippers for every part of your body. Yes, people need to know this. Even people my age need to know this. It's kind of crazy how many people don't know this, but I'll get into that after I tell the story. Got my clippers, practiced my edge up, then I practiced cutting my hair. I just felt one day, took one of my twists, cut it off, and I already knew I wasn't gonna be able to make it look good with that twist going, so I cut all my hair off. I regretted that day so much. I want to go back in time and stop myself from making that decision. But ultimately, I would have had to cut my hair anyway for something that I'm not gonna get into. Anyway, I learned this skill. I learned how to properly cut my hair, what length I like my hair, what length I should cut it. I learned how to fade, all of that. This was before I could grow a beard, and this was before I learned how to cut my beard and what type of stuff I want to do with that. But I could grow chin hair though. This would grow, but I would always cut it. I would have basically mutton chops. I ain't finna embarrass myself like that. I'll do edge up fade right here. Everything will fade. I'd have like a little patch of hair there. That will grow quickly. It's still the fastest growing part of my face, but this will grow very quickly. I learned how to keep that at a length I like without having to go and pay people to do it. Instead of telling people I want to look like this, I made myself look like this. The point of this story is I learned how to cut my own hair because I wanted to know how to cut my own hair. I'm very good with drawing art, so I figured kind of have the same thing. If I'm good at drawing pictures of stuff, then I should be good with handling a razor. And for the most part, I was right. But of course, there are going to be times where you fail at trying to master a task that you want to do for yourself, like cooking, cutting hair. There are going to be times where you fail. There was one moment where I thought I had it handled. I've been cutting my hair for a year at that point. When I rocked the waves, whenever I had my fade, I would cut it every 2 weeks. There was one moment where I got a little bit too cocky and was cutting my hair and doing something else, and I didn't notice, but I had messed up the fade. And I'm not messing up my edge up, no. I messed up my fade to a point where I couldn't save it. I wanted a bald fade on my side. I couldn't save it, so I had to get rid of it. By get rid of it, I mean all my hair. I went bald for that week. This was the same week where I had orientation for Sam Houston, played basketball with all my friends in Houston, and I worked out one of my boys back then too. That was a rough week because not only was I bald, but somehow I still had waves in my scalp. Like, I was bald, but my waves were still there. Even my friend had told me. He knew instantly I cut myself bald when I went to workouts one day with a hat on, with a cap on, and he instantly recognized immediately I was bald. Dude said, hey, took off my hat, and I was like, damn. I say that to say, no matter what, learning a skill, you're gonna have a bad experience where it goes wrong. You think to yourself like, man, I should have just had it done, pay a little out of pocket. But really, if you think about it, say you get a haircut every 2 weeks. Your haircuts average $25 to $30. You spend about $50 a month for a haircut if it's 25, 60 if it's 30. So let's just stick with 25. We're gonna go with the lowest number. Spend $50 a month on a haircut. There are 12 months in a year. You spend, I need some help, $600 in a year for the same haircut. It's not counting the beard stuff, the designs, this is just plain haircuts. $600, that could have went to anything. You could have invested in something. You could have put that money in your savings. You could have done a lot of things with that money. That could have been your rainy day money, but instead, we spend $600 a year getting our haircuts. And that's just if it's 25 every 2 weeks. And that's if you do it every 2 weeks. There are some people that get haircuts every week, same prices. That $600 just doubles to $1,200. if you do it once a week. The numbers I gave were twice a week. Once a week, you double that 600. That's crazy. That's almost somebody's part-time check. No, I'm sorry, that's a little more than people's part-time checks to places that they work monthly. So I say that to say this. Learning a skill seems like it's unnecessary sometimes, but really it'll help you save money, develop confidence in doing something. When you do something yourself, you get this feeling of accomplishment. You get the confidence boost, all these things. Honestly, why not learn a skill for yourself? I mean, but hey, it's just whatever's on my mind. What do I know?
I'm just Mikey G.
Catch y'all later.